总算到了。小家伙，接下来就靠你了。
我试试看吧。格萨，麻烦你把我放到节刊上。
Let's see a bit of gameplay and scenes of Ballad of Antara, a promising game that's going to be released in 2025. This part is extremely interesting cause we see that the world will be set in different dimensions. If I can say it that way, it totally changes the aspect of the environments, something we could also see in the new Lords of the Fallen. Ballad of Antara is an upcoming action RPG that looks really good. When I first saw the game, it was in the trailer of State of Play, and was probably the game that called my attention the most in that event. The game is being developed by the studio Tipsworks Studio, a Chinese studio. I said it already, but the Asian games are absolutely taking off lately. So many great games announced and coming out. It's really impressive. Ballad of Antara is coming out only on PlayStation 5 and Windows, at least for now, and it's planned to be released still in 2025. Just hope it's as good as it looks. Here we see that the bonfire feature will also be part of this game. This is something that we saw in some older games, but is now part of the Souls-like style. When you rest there, you can make some changes, replenish your healing potions, your health and more, but all the normal enemies of that area will respawn. I don't know if it's going to be this way here too, but that's what it seems.
抱歉，这种说法一定让你感到困惑。即便你同我一样，拥有小小的秘密。 就让我再一次引领你的归途吧。巨营历史，超越时代，是选择蒙受的数百。
This is one of the things that got my attention too. In the start, I didn't know, but there will be different playable characters in the game. In this moment, we can see that the player changes the character by pressing L1, so you play as the warrior with the sword, or the archer. What's surely going to make the gameplay really fun, testing different types of gameplay and combat. Other thing is that the game will also have a co-op mode. I don't know exactly how it's going to work, but it's surely going to be really fun.
他会出现吗？
现实不会抛弃同伴，换成我格萨也会遵守约定。
如果他见到我之后发现我不是，
放心，只要按我说的做就好。
Now we'll see a little bit of a gameplay that's set in a sort of open map, and this map reminded me of Elden Ring, an insane game, and also a little bit of Flintlock: The Siege of Dawn. That, to be honest, I was expecting much more of that game. It was fun to play, with a fun gameplay, a fun combat, but there was just some really good boss fights in the game. The last one was the only one that was kinda hard for me, and yes, I had fun playing, but I was expecting more. But Ballad of Antara looks really nice for me, so I'm curious to see the final version. The combat here also reminded me a little bit of the new God of War games, not so fast but brutal. In distant lands, a mist-like plague ravages the world with dark evil. Set out on a perilous journey, seek out colossal divine creatures, and recover lost and twisted essences. That's the official briefing of the game. Take control of the emissaries, awesome entities that wield the power of fundamental essences. Experience unique classes and gameplay features, as well as mysterious and fascinating stories. Explore Para, an otherworldly dimension where danger lurks. Seek the truth deep within the shadows and recover the essences of the world. Travel across diverse landscapes, exploring meticulously crafted game spaces with intricate level designs, full of surprises to discover. This is the first big game of the studio, and yes, it's hard to trust that a starting studio will make a great game, but just remember that Black Myth Wukong was the first game of the studio Game Science, and was even fighting for the Game of the Year award on TGA, so I'll always keep an eye out for games that looks good. Sometimes they'll let us down, but they could also be one of the best games of the year. Now we're going to see a boss fight. Pay attention to the soundtrack too, that's awesome. Here we can also see that the player changes the character a lot of times to use the best of each one of them. Now something we see in some Souls-like games, including Elden Ring. In some moment of the fight, the enemy just changed the style of combat, getting even harder, and this second part looks really badass, moving fast and using magics with a nice visual effect. This boss fight reminded me of Souls-like games, and the game is not going to be a true Souls-like, but a game with some aspects, and in my opinion it doesn't look hard, but something like God of War as I mentioned before. In this part we see that there will be a lot of playable character through the game, with all types of armors and weapons. That even makes wonder how much we'll be able to evolve the characters, changing the items and more. We also see a lot of bosses here that we'll find in the game, and well, that all looks really nice.
你是探雾人吗？
通向巨像的路已经断了，得去与界碰碰运气。
最好知道自己在说什么。无限探雾人不会有什么好下场。
奇怪，这里怎么会出现秽物？
要不是小家伙的血灵把我带到这儿，你们就全完了。
我们原本想顺着朝圣的路前往巨像，没想到出了点意外。
如果还有时间，我倒是想让你多说。
Ballad of Antara is a promising game in my opinion, a game with nice graphics, nice visual style, a beautiful world to explore, insane enemies and bosses, and a combat that makes me want to play. So yeah, I'm really curious to see the final version of the game. I liked of everything we've seen so far, and just remembering, the game is being developed by the studio Tipsworks Studio, and is aimed to be released still in 2025 to PlayStation 5 and Windows. But I hope you liked the video, subscribe for more videos, and also leave your comment, it helps me a lot. Thank you so much, and so long.